This camera is put out by the Thermal Master Technology Company. As you can see, it comes in a nice little box. Okay, let's just skip all this for now. We'll come back to all the setup and the configuration and open unboxing later. Let's get on with the good stuff, and let's find out what this thing can do.
Here we are at the RV, and what we're going to do is we're going to take this out of the box, plug it right in, and start scanning. So as you can see, this thing is just tiny. It basically is just a little tiny device that plugs into the bottom of the phone. It should launch the app, which it did. And I'm just going to tell it to go to the camera. And hopefully it's remembered my preferences from before. And it did. It put it on the color schemes for us. It looks like there is a magnification down here at the bottom also. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try to see if I can change this real quick. It's pretty cool. Lots of settings to make this thing really useful. It's got a record functionality, and so I'm able to switch pretty easily to Fahrenheit. If that takes care of all of it, that would be kind of nice. I also do appreciate the fact that in the app does not require me to open up an account and fill out a whole bunch of garbage, which is really nice. Let's start by looking at some of the information here on the screen. You can see here this little device is running at 103 degrees, which is nice that it just pulls out the high zone, so I don't have to go find it with the arrow to point there. I move up to the shunt, and you can see here that the shunt is running nice and cold. The camera, this is one thing for a lot of you viewers to watch, is to remember, you're not using the standard camera lens that's up here. You're using the infrared camera lens that's down, like I am here. You could be pointing at exactly the wrong item. That is something that just kind of caught me off guard. You're so used to using your phone that way that you see the wrong item. So I'm going to point it at this negative bus bar here, and as you can see, you can clearly make out that is the bus bar here too. And you can see this is clearly the bus bar, and that it's not very hard to tell. A lot of infrared cameras, the quality of the image is so poor that you can't tell what you're looking at when the temperatures are not really contrasty. So I'm going to move up to the positive bus bar and expect to see a little bit more of a contrast in temperature. And I'm right. So you can see here that the bus bar itself is nice and cold, but this lead wire coming in right up in here is a much hotter. It's running at, according to this, it's running at 101. This side over here is running a lot higher. All right, here we are at the combiner box. And this should be very interesting because this is where we have those three lines coming in from the solar panels we just looked at. And they all can come in and connect here. And so as you can see here, my finger's pointing at the first one and the second one and the third one. There is absolutely no temperature change here. Now, one of the things that I noticed about this camera that's really nice is I do have some color schemes I can pick that are a little bit different, where the hot spots are red writing, and this basically shows me a picture with the hot spots red, which is really nice. You can also go to the iron hot lines, which shows, and I'm thinking this one's just a lot more sensitive, so it's very nice that this is lighting these items up. This is a much better view for this, where the temperature difference is much smaller than the other one. As you can see, all of these items here, this one line coming in right here is really the one that's lit this board up. Let's see if we can identify which one it is. It's the second line here off of this fuse, absolutely, which runs down and out and to the roof. So obviously the roof is the one that's lighting up the most. Let's see what the temperature is on that wire and make sure that we're in some tolerance here and not really having a problem. The color scheme on this one It's, you know, that's 95 degrees. So that is fantastic that you can see from the quality of this camera, the change the color schemes like that and get some real detail of, is there anything here that's overly hot? And even the hottest item on the screen here is only 100 degrees, and it is a good 90 degrees outside. So none of that is really a surprise, and it looks like we have a pretty successful review of this and nothing problematic here. So we will move on to the next.
All right, so now we're going to take a look at all the different panels here. The important thing here, as I back up, I'm going to try to take a look at what the actual panel's temperature themselves are. It's easy to locate hot spots like this. Like you can see here, we have a very clear hot spot on this panel. One of those cells looks like it is really burning out, and it is this one here. It's very easy for me to clearly identify it and to recognize that there's something going on with that panel and know that there might be a problem sometime in the future. This is very, very helpful if you were to have these panels up on a roof or something like that. I'm going to move over to these ones on this side over here, and as you can see over here, these panels are much cooler and they're not near as hot as those. All right, so as we continue here, you can see these panels are basically much better temperature gauged and not really have a bunch of hot spots on them. The hottest spot is that 2x4 running across the bottom that's absorbing that heat and doesn't have a real good way of dissipating it. I am going to shift and go to the ones up here on the top of the shed, and I've got a hot spot up there on that one too. See if I can locate where it is, and come back to this one over here. So as you can see, this is very useful in identifying if you're going to have some problems with wires or cables or anything. When I come down here to this MC4 connector, as you can see, that one's nice and cool. Interestingly enough, the second one in the background there looks a little hot though. We're going to pull that out and take a look at it. And as you can see, that probably needs to be looked at. That's running really hot for a MC4 connector. It should look more like this one here, which would imply there's something going on in there, or could imply there's something going on in there. I'm going to take it over to this one here. As you can see, that MC4 connector looks quite good. And if I take this and pan it around to these panels over here, I'm seeing some reflections and stuff, but nothing that shows any real problems there. And this is the primary one that would concern me, that running at 140 degrees, and that's something that I'll need to take a look at.
I know it's very difficult for you to hear me, but I wanted to show you the automotive way this thing works and give you an overview of our engine as it's warming up. So as you can see, as the block is starting to heat up here, where the actual heat is now, and you can see that is really starting to get nice and warm as the motor runs. Although you can also tell here from the coolant lines that it is not warm yet. As you can see here, the engine is definitely starting to get warm. That section is getting up into the 200 range, 195, 196, starting to get nice and warm. See if I can get a view down there of some of the exhaust. Yeah, that's not quite got warm enough yet. And the fan over here, running that temperature there. And as you can see, as this thing starts to warm up, we'll start to get some coloration on the top. I am going to change the coloration a little bit again. See if we can get something in. Oh, that's much better. So as you can see, the ability to change the coloration scheme is super important on this thing. You can easily see contrast of all the different temperatures with this view, whereas the other one, I needed that really close range sensitivity. here, I need a lot more flexibility and a lot bigger range. Here you can see the whole motor outline. I'm going to go through a few more of these. There's a jungle view. There's a Aurora view, which is very interesting, as you can see all the different pieces and parts on that one. There is the city view, and there is the low light view. I'm assuming that this was best for night vision. This is the gold view, the lava view, and the medical view. Now, I kind of like the gold view. It seems to me that the hotter it is, the more red we have. It does make it kind of hard to see all the details you need to. And in the medical view, I'm assuming this is based on people's color. Stick my hand down here and see if I can get a, yeah, you can see my contrast and the temperature of my hand is not that good. So this is, as this motor is starting to heat up, you can see the top starting to change colors. I'm going to go back to some of these other views over here. Some of these camera views are extremely important. And if you were a mechanic, you might want to look at things like the battery here and actually determine if you have battery connection problems or what other issues you do have. But you can see it's very versatile, allows for multiple configurations, and it's extremely useful to be able to change these color schemes around and get different ones that allow you to see the details that you're looking for in each image. And I'm sure that as you went through this system, you would find uses for practically all of them, depending on what industry you were in. As you can see here, the black and white hot, where the black is hot and the white is cold. That is very cool. I still prefer the iron, I think, but I am very traditional in that way. Anyway, this was my diesel truck warming up. So quickly, we want to take a look at some other devices other than solar, just to kind of give you the versatility of this device. This is a mini split attached to the back of my RV. One of the many devices that the solar is running here. You can see the top is the hottest piece here. And the funny thing is I go over here to the side where the electrical connections are, and you can see the electrical wire that's coming in is the coolest one. The black wire running to the inside unit is the hottest one. It's kind of funny because it's the black insulation that's absorbing the heat, not the actual unit. Now, there is some warmth underneath this panel here. This panel here is basically, oops, I'm in the camera's way here. This panel here is basically, has the inlets and the outlet lines going to the unit inside of it. That's why it's having some heat dissipation going on. You can see the guardrail is absorbing a lot of heat. It's metal, it's exposed to. And then you can see the air conditioner itself running in there and pulling that heat off of those coils. Nothing of significance there. So everything's good here, so we will move on. All right, let's go through a few of the good items and the bad items. So the camera has a lot more good points than it does bad points. I'm going to go through them kind of quickly here. I like the fact that it's very small. It fits on a keychain, can travel with very easily. You can put it in your pocket. It's got a nice, good protective case to hold onto it. I also really like the fact that it doesn't have a battery. The more I thought about this one, the more important this really becomes, as that is a really good feature of this camera. I like the images where you're allowed to see the detail around the edges. It's very important to, when you look at something, not only to see that it's hot, but to be able to recognize exactly what it is. And when you get into the details on this one, or you have the ability to see the different color schemes, that's when you really get into being able to identify the items around it and being able to find a color scheme that works for you. I also like the fact that when I plug it in, it launches. I don't have to go find the app. I don't have to go set things up again. I don't have to do any of that other stuff. So I like the fact that it does that. And then it comes with an extension cord, and actually have it disconnected from the camera and have it a foot or two away where you can move it around. Some of the bad things, I did not like the fact that it was only available for Android. It didn't affect me because I had an Android and I was using it on an Android. So the default app color scheme, it stinks. The app should come in a typical configuration, and it didn't. I had to go in and play with the different color schemes to figure out what would work, what was traditional, what wasn't. It came with this black and white thing. You'll see in the imaging scan in the documents is too small. When you go to scan that, you have to be very, very careful to get exactly the right distance. It would have made it very easy to get to the installation. The quick start guide is got a lot of details in it, and the problem is the quick start guide isn't a quick start guide. If you look at a lot of the other quick start guides, it's like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, you're done. Other than that, really those are all nitpick negatives. The positives on this thing way outweigh it. That small key size change, the lack of a battery, the good image details, the ability to change the color schemes, launching when you first plug it in, the ease of taking this on the road and doing inspections and doing solar panel inspections and system inspections for other people, for workers, for air conditioner crews, for auto mechanics and that kind of stuff. It just, those are so valuable that I would give this an A+ as
Very obvious which one it is from the picture it's on the front, and I've seen the picture all over the place. So I use them specifically for the solar industry, and so we're going to open this up today and kind of get in here and see what the contents are and see what we've got. I'll walk you through all of that, and then we're going to get out and we're going to actually use this puppy and see if we can take a look at our solar system and find some issues and problems. So first, we're going to open the box here, and it is, I got a little package over here with, looks like just a power cord. It's a USB-C to USB-C. And second, we have a couple of things in here. Looks like a manual. Oh, wow. Nice. Nice, big manual. This is actually very impressive, because usually you have to go online to see these things and to get any kind of documentation. So that's really good. Then the second item we have here is basically just the warranty user card and a little bit of a clip. Looks like a belt loop clip or something. Oh wow, this is kind of nice. It's like a little case, and holy cow, that thing is small. I mean, look at the size of that. It is just tiny. When they say it is the world's smallest, they actually mean it. I am going to pull a penny out of my pocket and set it next to it so you can get an idea how big it is. I mean, we're talking about a thermal camera that is the size of 2 cents laying next to each other. This is very tiny, and it comes in a nice hard case, felt-lined carrying case, and I'm going to assume that this is so that you can connect it to your keychain and just take it with you wherever you go. One of the things that I did read on the specs was that it does not have a battery in it, which is really nice, because that means instead of you having to worry about charging it up, you can put this on your keychain, you can carry it with you, and when you get to where you need to do the to do an inspection, a review, check out a system or whatnot, you can just pop this case open, plug it right into your phone, and at that point, you can see this in comparison to a phone. At that point, you just plug it into your phone, and it would launch the app, which we're going to do here in a minute, and you don't have to worry about the battery being dead, which is really nice, because in other thermal cameras that I have, usually what I have to do is make sure that I get it charged up first if I'm going to go look at something or something like that. So contents are very simple: cable, manual, warranty card, device, carrying case with rack. That's basically all there really is to the unwrapping here. So I say let's get on with the real fun, and let's get it connected to a phone and get in and see if we can use it and get some good thermal images. All right, here we go. We are going to install the app. So we go into the Google Play Store and we click on the Temp Master app. I just did a search for Temp Master P2. We click on it and hit install. And it says it's pending and does its regular installation stuff. As you can see, it's got a 58 meg download, 75% done, and 79, 98, 100%. There we go. All right, so hopefully that'll finish installing here now that it's downloaded. All right, now it's switched over to installing. All right, now that it's installed, let's click the open button, and it's asking me to plug in the device. So I'm going to take the device and plug it in. And it says, Temp Master handle will open the camera. Always allow it to open the camera when it's opened. Click OK. There we go. All right, so you basically have in this option here to go through and pick the different hot is white, black is cold. So you can do it that way, or you can go in and pick the iron red, which is one of your normal ones where you can see the hot devices that direction. As I point to the window here, the window shade, you can see there's definitely some heat there. That seems to be about as simple as it is. They've got a rainbow one here, which looks like it's blue and red and yellow, which is kind of your typical one. I'm going to leave it there. And then I'm going to shut the app down, close everything, disconnect. And what I'm interested in is if I was in the field and I came in and basically just plug this in, would it launch the app for me? And that is what I was hoping it would do. It launched the app as soon as I plugged it in. I can now just click the camera button, and there we have it. We are back in action and basically able to do it. So that's the installation. It's pretty simple. You can scan the code here on the page and do the installation, or you can go to the App Store and download the app, the Temp Master app, for the device that you need. And then once it's installed, it's simply take the item out of the case that comes with it and plug it in, and voila, you are all done. So let's get on to the fun part and go do some testing of things. In short, this is a great little device. The lack of a battery makes it wonderful for on the road, in the field use, and I think it'll serve me well for many years. Hope you enjoyed the video. Follow me along with the next video on hooking up your panels for the best peak performance. Learn how to hook them up in parallel or serial. Click now